Hello everyone, I'm just going to do a video today showing you how you can use basically my ideas and techniques to develop a simple trend trading system. Okay, and the whole idea here is because pretty much everybody agrees that we should simplify our systems, but what people do is they tend to overcomplicate all of the elements of a system in the belief that when you add more information to a particular strategy or technique that you somehow improve its reliability and results. And I just want to kind of highlight how you can be very simple at all the individual stages of a strategy, and it will work just as well as going into very minute detail. Okay, so what we're going to do is just develop a very sort of simple trend trading strategy. So the first thing we'll need to do is define when a trend has started. Okay, so what we're going to do is just look at the previous swing high and swing low, and then just wait for that to be broken. Okay, so let's imagine we started trading from this day here, the start of this day here. Okay, so this would be our previous swing low here, and this would be our previous swing high. Now straight away people would be wanting to kind of complicate this element here and make a lot of rules about what stipulates a swing high and swing low. And really, as with most things, you're best just to look at the chart, like Walter says, look at the chart like a child would, and just find the obvious swing high and swing low, and really you're just looking for the last direction change at the extreme. Okay, so let's say that we put these lines down to mark our previous swing high and swing low, and then all we're going to do is look for price to break and close outside of that to define that a trend has started. Okay, and you can see here we closed below the previous swing low, so we've defined that the trend is currently short. Okay, and then with trend trading, what we next need to do is wait for a pullback. And again, this is something that people overcomplicate, and for this example, what we're going to do is we're just going to say any bar that closes against the prevailing trend is the pullback. Okay, so it can just be a single bar, okay, as simple as you could possibly make it. So here you go, we have a single bar, and there's actually two bars here, okay, but one would suffice. So then we've had our pullback, and then obviously we're looking for the trend to resume, and for that we're going to make it super simple again, and we're just going to look for any bar that closes short. Okay, and it doesn't have to be a particular shape or have a particular wick or body shape. Any bar that closes down is indicating that price is starting to move back in the direction of the prevailing trend. And then to enter, we're just going to put a pending short under the low, and we're going to put our stop over the current swing high. Okay, and that's our entry short into the trend. So we've kept all of the elements really simple so far, and then the next element we need is how to manage and exit these trades. And if we're going short, the obvious time when we should be considering to manage that short is going to be when price starts to go long. And again, we'll keep it simple. If price closes up, then we'll assume that price is starting to go long, and at that point we'll manage our trades. Okay, so here's the first indication that price is going to go long, and then here's another one here. Okay, just a bar closing against the trend. And then when these closes against the trend happen, then we just have a few simple options. Okay, and Again, I mean, they're obvious options. We can manage our stop by pulling it closer. We can manage our stop by putting it over the high. We can come to break even, or we can just close out our trade. Okay, and then we're not going to define any particular rule as to when and why we'll pick one or the other. We'll just make a judgment call when it happens. Now, obviously, in this instance here, with this first bar closing against, we've just given it one bar. Price hasn't moved anywhere. There's not really any point in closing out the trade. Okay, if we'd had like a particularly big setup bar, it spiked and made a really big bar, then I suppose you could argue that it's worthwhile tightening up your stop. Okay, but you're going to make that decision based on the context. You're not going to predefine it and try and cover all of the possible eventualities, because I find this is what people do, is they want to cover every possible eventuality before it happens. And then the problem is that the movements are so complex, it feels like we have the same repeating patterns all the time, but in fact it's a slightly different pattern every time. So you have to use the context, and you have to use some judgment in the moment. Okay, and that leaves a certain amount of uncertainty in our trades, and we don't like that for many reasons. And we like to sort of back test and know exactly what the outcome's going to be trading this strategy going forward, and that's slightly unrealistic. And the best thing you can do is accept that that's unrealistic, and accept that it's going to be uncertain. So in this instance, because price has got no profit, I would just leave the trade as it is, and wait for some more information. Okay, and then you see price does break down, and then we get another decision point here. Okay, now here, moving your stop over here, trailing your stop up, or moving to break even, or even taking profit, okay, wouldn't be any of those would be a good option. And this is the 60-minute chart, so that's a fairly decent win for the day. It's probably about 40 pips or something. So I wouldn't be, and also, just because it's a trend trading strategy, it doesn't mean that you need to hold your trades forever and go for a very high risk to reward, although you can do that. And if that was your preferred option, then in this instance, perhaps just a move into break even and hoping that you get a continuation, a runner, would be the move. Again, that's applying context, and that's based on your personal choices and judgment. Okay, so then moving on from there, we can see that then price does reverse. Okay, and if we look at the previous swing high, which was where our stop was, we can see that now price has gone and broken a swing high. So now our trend definition has changed and moved to long. Then we get a then we get a single bar close against us, so that's our retrace, and then we'd be looking for a breakout long again. And you don't really get one on these trades here. Now, because it's gone on for an extended period, people will be thinking that the long is no longer valid. But the trend long is still in place. We've had a pullback, so we can just continue looking for a breakout long off a bullish bar, and then you eventually get one here. And then you can see we get multiple bars close against the trend, where again we would make a decision to manage the trade or not. Well, each of these are leaving us in a drawdown, so there's no point just exiting the trade here. Well, you may think there is. You may think, well, there's no momentum, so I'm going to get out. I would just leave it and wait, basically, because you never know which way it's going to break out, and it does eventually break out long here, and then these bars are much better points to manage your trade. Okay, and there you would either move your stop up, trail, or just exit the trade. If you exited the trade here, okay, and then price continues to go long, then you can just, the trend is still defined as long. You can just wait for a retrace bar and then be looking to re-enter the market with a breakout long here. Okay, now this is essentially what I am doing in my current trading, but I've just taken it one step further and removed the need to define the trend. So I'm considering the trend as being long and short all the time and just taking all of the breakouts. So I'm kind of missing out step 1 and going straight to step 2. There's obviously pros and cons with that, and not just technically but psychologically there are pros and cons to doing that. But here I'm just kind of showing you how, if you would like to stay within the realms of what's considered good trading, using some technical analysis, how you can still do that but still keep it very simplified. And it's by just simplifying all of the steps down to like the core elements. So you're buying when price is going long and you're selling when price is going short. So that's just sort of little interesting video, and hopefully it kind of makes my whole thinking behind trading a little bit clearer. My whole drive is about simplifying the process, and it's talked about in great detail that we should simplify our trading, and then I see that backed up with some very complex strategies, which to me don't seem simplified at all. So I hope that helps. I will answer any of your comments below, and I will see you soon.